You've probably seen videos that have titles like, if you're seeing this video, it's meant to find you, or this video is going to change your life, or finding this video means that you are on the right track. And you probably think to yourself, that's just clickbait. I'm not clicking on that. But what if I told you that's not necessarily the case all the time? Because if we look at the universe from a toroidal and fractal perspective and understand that this shape and repeating set of shapes that we call fractality is in essence how the universe works, I believe you might change your mind about how this might actually have a little bit of validity. Well, how is all this possible, you might ask? Well, the answer is what lies at the center of a torus donut, or just a torsion field, and how that creates fractality. You see here, if we look at the center of a torus field, and I think this image is a good one that represents what I'm trying to explain here. And between these two white and black holes here, you see this blue line. And this blue line is representations of the moment in time as a sliver of time. So if we think of everything moving from the right to the left, moving from the future to the past, we see that there's the one stable point in the center of the torus that is the experiential center. Now, keep in mind that every single atom and every single electrical shape shares this primary function of cycling energy in and out of its center. And if you want a more in-depth look at how a fractal universe operates, especially a fractal Earth, please take a look at my fractal Earth video that you can find here. And if you're on a platform that doesn't have that, please check out my channel. But to put it in a simplistic manner, just for this video, at the center of each torus, reality is both being compressed and squeezed back out to the periphery of the torsion field that is self-sustaining. So these self-sustaining torsion fields are constantly recycling what's coming around the perimeter and then coming back at it in different ways, depending on all sorts of different factors. Factors like the environment that it's in, the other torsion fields around it, how well the torsion fields are functioning, the amount of energy within these torsion fields. And we could continue. There are even properties we can't even fathom right now that are coming from higher and lower realms of reality. But getting back to how each torsion field projects its own reality and how these videos might not be a load of crap, we can see here in this picture that the past is moving from the right, hitting that center point and then flowing into the back as what's being called the past on this photo. What that means is that when people call space-time, what they're saying is that space and time are really one thing. That as you move, you are moving through time and space. But what if that's not really what's happening to us? You may have heard that every time we make a decision, an alternate timeline is created. And while that may be true or may not be true, I believe in this particular example, this is a good way to look at this. So let's say you're walking a dog one day and you decide to go left versus right. In one universe, you've gone left, and that's a whole string of options. That could have happened. You could have went this way and got a cup of coffee or something and then fell in a hole. Who knows? Or you could have gone to the right and you could have saw your neighbor and your neighbor talks to you for 20 minutes and then you find out something fantastic that you wouldn't have figured out otherwise. The idea is that while all of these options are there, it's only the one that leads to the ultimate best reality for your incarnation, your life this time, that you follow. And what this creates is a series of snapshots that we experience as life, living in a linear fashion. But what's really happening, in my opinion, is that all of these lives are being lived simultaneously, one at a time, through energetic resonance. So, as this torsion field moves around its perimeter and comes back towards the center, it's doing that up and down the chain an infinite amount of times, all in the same space. And it's through consciousness and conscious agreement with each other that we are able to even stitch together a dualistic universe for us to enjoy and play in. So returning back to how videos that look like clickbait saying, this video is meant to find you, the actual answer is, it was meant to find you. And you can either choose to look at that reality or you cannot. And I don't want you to get some FOMO from looking at videos. I just want you to take a look at reality a little bit differently. Because there's been plenty of times where I've clicked on something or looked at something that looked like it was specifically for me, and then my guts begin to tell me, no, this isn't for me, and I'll go away from it. But I at least looked and was open to the idea that, hey, maybe this is a message for my higher guides. Because let's say you're looking at like a tarot reading video for the sign of whatever, Libra, on YouTube. And you click on that video, and all of a sudden they start talking about things that are super relevant to you that she couldn't possibly be saying. How is that possible? How are your spirit guides talking to her spirit guides without you guys even knowing? Well, the answer is just what we discussed. Up and down that single chain are all of the experiences. And to the right in this diagram again is the future, correct? Well, the future is another way to refer to the astral, because the astral is the coming forces that come to us to move us towards the ultimate direction, which source consciousness, God, the Godhead Brahman, are all aware of, but we don't yet know. Many call this movement the higher mind, working its magic to talk to the lower mind, us. So what could happen is your guides could go whisper to this other tarot reader's guides, and they could get a message about something very specific to you. One time I was looking at tarot reading, and I saw it was for the sign of Libra, and it was saying something about how this is a destined opportunity for you, Libra, and you don't want to miss that. And I felt a chill run down my spine. And I'm like, okay, fine, let's do this. And at the same time, I was making myself some scrambled eggs. And she began to read the tarot reading, and then right before she pulled a tarot card, I broke a yolk, and I broke an egg, and I got double yolks. Then she went on to discuss how I was supposed to go to an event that was predestined, and my spirit guides really don't want me to miss this. Well, it turned out that this event was a convention that was coming up within 40 miles of my house that I had no idea. Also in that reading, she said, I'm seeing 11:11 on the clock, and I looked at my phone and it was 11:11. These kinds of synchronicities, as Carl Jung calls them, are messages from spirit that are supposed to get your attention to shake you out of this reality so that you wake up and realize that you're projecting your reality based on your thoughts, the people's thoughts around you, and ultimately what you're aiming to accomplish in this life. There's a part in Dave Chappelle's latest Netflix special where he talks about how he was the dreamer all of his life. He was dreaming to be the best stand-up comedian in the world. He's worked hard at it. He worked. And then he realized that he's not the dreamer. He's the dreamed. And all the people going to his shows are dreaming him into existence so that they can witness whatever he was dreaming he could provide them the dream with. I think this is a beautiful analogy for how time and space really works. We think that we're all individual when we think we're all here at the same time, doing the same things over and over again. But what's really happening is that we're doing this movement we call life individually, but also at the same time. Which is to say, I think that others are here, but it's the consensus of reality that each of us are having our own experience and supporting that consensus that allows us to live through these snapshots of time. These snapshots are stitched together to create what looks like one continuous life from birth until death, which at death, we simply slip out of this blue line and then are more able to freely move around the system and between systems and to neighboring systems and our friends and family systems or plasma toruses or fractal universes. Because each person, each soul, each body, each cell, each atom is a microcosm of the universe, itself driving its own destiny based on the consensus of the other fractals around it. So I hope that's been a little uplifting, and I hope that helps you understand the reality we're living in. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy this content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, because I aim to create more content like this to help us understand the nature of our reality and to recognize how each of us are both divine and beautiful creatures representing the totality of the universe itself. My name is Adam David, and thank you for watching.